What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Another Sunday, another week gone by. Welcome to another episode, live stream, Vintage Chill and Chat. As you guys know, I'm Sammy Thunder. Hope everybody had a good week, good weekend, and inching ever closer to the National, to Hobby Palooa, all the extravaganzas that will be taking part. As always, tonight, this is a triple header live stream format that is set up in such a beautiful way. You have me from 7 to 8 o'clock. You have Alex of Bowman 53 from 8 to 9. And then you have 4 collectors at 9 to whatever. So for me, I was kind of up in the air if I was going to do this tonight, because really I don't really have much to deliver. I don't have much content to really deliver. Things have kind of been a little quiet on my end for the past couple weeks. So I guess really I'm kind of feeding off everybody here tonight, trying to see what the chat wants to drive up, what sort of conversation, what things have been talked about in the hobby over the past couple weeks. I'll be quite honest. Aside from the start of the week videos and the cardboard and cold ones, I have been working behind the scenes, getting the Hobby Palooa thumbnails ready, putting together the emails, or the email that was sent out by John for Hobby Palooa. So we're kind of, trying to get out ahead of all the logistics to get that squared away. And it seems like things are kind of moving at a very good pace right now. And I think the thumbnails look cool, personally. I know they're not published yet, but they will be. And I think it's going to be another good year of Hobby Palooa. We've got a great lineups ready to go. The schedule should be announced at some point. I don't know when, but sometime it will be announced. But it's a good lineup, and I think you guys will enjoy it. A lot of people returning back, and some new faces as well coming into the fold. That's what you want to see. You want to see a mix of both. So I think you guys will enjoy it. And I'll give a plug. Happy to do it. Hobby Palooa is going to be sponsored this year by the Penny Saver, Isaac's business of the Penny Sleever. He'll be sponsoring the event. And of course, we are taking donations and supporting Signatures for Soldiers once again this year. So we hope to surpass our previous year's donation contributions, which was awesome of you guys to do that, for those that did. So that's what to look ahead for. I mean, honestly, we're kind of working around the clock. There's the vintage trade night happening at the National as well, which should be pretty epic. It's not going to be exactly like, the format will be exactly like it was at Strongsville, but we're not going to be providing food or, anything. There's going to be food trucks there. And I think that, we're kind of under the umbrella of the National in this case. Whereas, Strongsville, we had support, we had the connecting support and we were working directly with the guys who ran the Strongsville event. But as far as logistics go, that wasn't, entirely on us to get the space, to get the food, and, to really get, that working. Whereas with the National, we're working within their boundaries of what we can provide and what we can do. And essentially it's going to be, table set up again, where you guys can just come on in, set up some cards you want to trade or sell, and, just kind of go from there. There's going to be some, there's going to be a giveaway. I don't know if there's giveaways. I think there's one major giveaway that I think that you guys will really enjoy. There's going to be packs that we're, putting into little gift bags with promotional cards and, a limited run of t-shirts as well. So there's a lot to look forward to with that. But let me get into a roll call, as I usually start with everybody here. So I see Jim. Jim is here. Ross is here. Mike Polena, what's up, gang? Hope all is well. Good to see you here. Jay is here. Sven is here. eBay is here. eBay, you got to tell me your name, man. I can't keep calling you eBay. RJ is here. Ruben is here. Mike, the sports history collector. Happy Sunday, everybody. Steve with the PH. Neil is here. Dave from Peacemaker Cards. Trevor from Blue Collar is here. Kurt from Killabrew 3. Good evening, gents. Jacob is here. Lou Rock is here. Jim, yeah, I'm looking forward to the trade night too. It should be a fun event. We're really just getting everything ready to go. Oh man, Al, it's been a while, my friend. Glad that you're here in the live stream, man. Good to see you. I'm looking forward to your, I guess, if you don't mind me spilling it, Al's going to be on Hobby Palooza. I don't think that's a big shocker. But Al's going to be doing his contribute with him and his brother contributing. So that's going to be awesome. Brian is here. Hodges, we got to figure out a way. I don't know why my emails don't get through to you. But let's just say, I'm going to just mention it here. The Juan Marichal card that you won, the Venezuelan card, if you're going to National, let's just meet up there, if that's cool with you, Brian, and I'll hand you the card there. It just makes things a lot easier, reduces the possibility of it getting lost in the mail, and I just don't want to risk that. So if you're cool with that, Brian, I will bring the card with me, and we'll do an exchange at the show. Scott Hughes here, Classy Sports Cards. We need another Petty and Orlando drinking stream. Yeah, maybe I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Mike is here. Diamond Gems. Warren D in the house. What's this national? You got me. I don't know. Mark's Darge's cards. Melissa, how you doing, Melissa? Oh, Rudog, man, listen, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad I hope you're feeling better, man. We saw your son's update, and I'm glad to hear that everything went well. So happy post-surgery for your brother. I'm sad to hear you won't be at the National, but I completely understand. Mad respect for, just again, for your recovery. My comrade John is here. Yeah, man. Rudog 21. Absolutely. Felt the same way. Doug from Joe Wood Collector is here. Just going through. Ryan McClanahan. Jake T. O'Donnell. Dan is here. Bizarriza Jizza. Yeah, God, I know they lost today, but we badly needed a series win. And I don't know if they're not playing the Yankees tomorrow. It was a 3-game series, right? If it is, then thank God they won. They won that series. Is it the Nationals? I don't know. National, who cares? Appreciate you guys. Not if you're Dave Martinez and Mike Rizzo, it ain't. All right, so that's roll call, man. So yeah, listen, things have been, I've been doing a lot of traveling over the past couple of weekends, so really no card shows, no card pickups. I've been keeping an eye on Heritage. Heritage has an auction that's ending in 7 days or 6 days. I don't know what it is now, but there's a Mathewson piece in there that I'm keeping my eye on, and so that's potentially something that I might pick up before the National. We will kind of put probably 65% damage to my budget, but it's one of those things where that's it's always a topic. It's like, do you go after cards in auction, but when the National is right before you want it? It's like you feel like you want to bring money with you to the National. You want to feel like you could pick something physically up at the National and to have it in your possession, because there's nothing better than, for me, I enjoy buying something physically at the show. We talk about, it's not just about, adding to your collections, about seeing, friends you haven't seen in a while. And that's absolutely true. But let's be honest with ourselves. It's awesome. It's awesome when you can pick something up. To me, is not as much excitement when you get something shipped in the mail and you open it up that way. I think you guys might disagree. I think there's personally an excitement. There's a difference in that level of excitement. That's just my opinion. Just catching up with some more people coming in. Carl, good to see you, man. I think you're I think what you sent has arrived. I haven't had a chance to pick it up, but I will tomorrow, and I'll make sure that it's added to the start of the week. Let's see. Oh, you're off tomorrow. That's awesome. So you can stay up past the way past for collectors. So that's awesome. I'm here for now. Sammy, miss you. I miss you too, Jake. Honestly, I'm sad that you're not going to be there this year, man. But I totally understand. Two kids, you're working 24/7, my friend. Totally get it. eBay says buying in person is the best, but if you have a chance to get something in the right price, can you really? No, of course not. And I totally get that too. It makes sense. You gotta if something comes up in auction that just hits you right, that just knocks you on your ass. Yeah, buy it. I don't blame you for. It's just there's a difference though. There's a difference in buying at a show versus buying at an auction. Neil says, no doubt show purchases are the best. Yeah, you're around your friends. That's part of it. You're around your friends, you're around your buddies when you're buying something, at least, for the most part, I think we are. And it's also good to have a second opinion. And there's only so much you can do with pictures. I don't care what they say. Auctions have great pictures, but when you have it in your hand, there's a big difference. And I know there's been controversy surrounding that too. Auctions present things a little bit nicer when compared to when they arrive in the mail, and then you're surprised. It's what we call cry appeal. Jacob, I'd love to meet some of you at a card show if I go to one again. Yeah, man. I don't know where you're based in the country, but there's definitely regions and pockets of card shows where you get a lot of people. Like Chris from Missouri has his crew, Billy Ballgame and them. They go to a lot of shows in the Midwest region, that area. A lot of the Philly show guys or the Jersey guys combined with the New York guys going to the shows, meeting up with some of the Pennsylvania guys. Chantilly has a crew of Maryland folks and Virginia, DC. Yeah, it's pockets, man. Chicago's sports spectacular. You got people from Indiana, Ohio, Illinois. So yeah, and then of course Shriners. Again, New York and Massachusetts, meeting together with New Hampshire or Rhode Island or wherever people are from. So yeah, man. Yeah, man. No, listen. I'm sure I will. I want to kind of keep it. I want to be surprised by it. So when I get it tomorrow, I'll let you know. We all know Warren will be asleep by 10:01. What's the over/under on that, Ruben? Hey Warren, yeah, man. I wish I could be hopeful for Strongsville. I hope so too, man. That would be awesome. You get to experience shitty shower stalls and beds with hair and bugs. No, I'm joking. It's actually worse. No, I'm joking. It's actually okay. It's actually okay. RJ says the wife's away for a week, so I took the week off. 6 days of baseball cards and no other responsibilities. That sounds really nice. Jake says he's in Wisconsin. Okay. There's actually a website that tells you what shows are happening in the Wisconsin area, as well as the entire country. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many folks, how many other. I know there's someone else who lives in Wisconsin. There's a couple of people who live in Wisconsin, or in the surrounding area. So yeah, man. Warren's saying make it happen. Jake. Mark says not going to be able to make the national this year, but will be at the West Coast show in late August. Probably meet some folks there. Yeah. Also the California crew. Got some California people who go to those shows. I wish I could. I don't have money. Plus, I can't drive. You gotta. Yeah, that's tough, man. That's a tough battle. You would need a chaperone of some sort to drive you, or depending on the show, like the National would be perfect because you would just get a hotel room across the street. I mean, now it might be tough, but in the future, if it's for Chicago, they typically the hotels are in walking distance. Well, I say that except Cleveland wasn't, but you get my drift. The Chicago one is those, so those shows are pretty good. The Shriner show is difficult. I mean, you could take a cab, but you'd have to fly. Anyway, I'm going down the wormhole, going down the rabbit hole here, but you get my point. How can you donate to the Signatures for Soldiers if you're not going to the national? So Melissa, that's going to be through Hobby Palooza. So we're doing donations for Hobby Palooza. There's going to be you're going to get all information on that. So that's in a few weeks, and more information is going to be flooding through the community. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of information for that. More to come with that. Peeps, what's up, man? Good to have you here. Legends Ever Died Anywhere else in North Carolina? Oh, you're close to Mangini. I know he's in South Carolina, and then you're close to Drew of Vintage Legacy in Georgia. I know you guys meet up for shows sometimes. Not as much on the West, unfortunately. I guess it depends on where you are on the West. It depends. Steve with the PH, I was a no-go for the National until I talked to my good buddy Tom from Missouri. Chris and Coop's buddies today. Still only a 1% chance, but I'm going to see what I can do. Yeah, listen, man. I think you'll have a blast. You always do. You make the most out of every show, Steven. I got to tell you. If you're talking about my comment about the hotel, so I booked a double bed. I booked a double queen bed because originally I was B. Roth was going to be my roommate, but he couldn't come. So there's two beds there. One bed had hair in it. The other bed, one bed had hair strands in there, and the other bed didn't. So, of course, I took the bed that didn't have hair strands, and I just dumped all my card stuff on the empty bed. And, listen, it's based on some of the other people's experience. It wasn't as glamorous. Last year, I didn't have any issues. I know some people didn't have hot water or something like that, but it seems like they're getting their shit together. Like the quote from Dumb and Dumber, so you're saying there's a chance. I love it. I love getting a big, important piece in person to remember the National every year, but I also love bringing a recent eBay purchase to share. I do the same thing. What I typically do, Al, is, and I think it sounds like we do the same thing here, is I will bring pieces that I've picked up since the last time I saw everybody. So this time around at the National, I'm going to bring pieces that I picked up since Strongsville. So I like to do that, and it just keeps the collection small. Has White Plains gone downhill since the ownership change? JP was great. New owners don't even have an auto signer list 1 month before the show. The East Coast National, and they prepped 5 weeks out. I don't know, man. The first show that they ran was, the dealers were pretty much the same. I can't remember if the first show they ran was, I don't think it might have been the East Coast National from last year. I cannot remember if that was JP or if that was Lucky's. But if it was Lucky's, they had some good and bad. The bad was that it was that the aisles were very narrow. But I think that was just a learning curve. There's a combination of factors that probably went into that, and I think those were addressed with Dan, Vintage Baseball PC, and the promoter for Lucky's talked on a video, and they kind of went over a lot of the logistics. The one thing that I didn't like about that one was they didn't promote the downstairs. So every East Coast National at the county center, they had the upstairs room, which is the major room, which is the big space, and then you had the downstairs, which is the smaller space. But they didn't have any signs to tell you to go downstairs, and in the past they always did. As far as their logistics goes this year, I don't know how far out they promote in advance. The Philly show I don't think they promoted their show yet in September. So I don't know. I think, honestly, trying to market and promote weeks before the National is, kind of a waste of not really the best use of time, especially if the show is not happening until after the National. I think the momentum is probably good to build once the National finishes, carry on that momentum, then start marketing and pushing hard. But doing it before the National, it just doesn't really serve much of a purpose, in my opinion. maybe the autograph list might be a good idea, but I think it's going to go in and out of in one ear and out the other. Just my 2 cents on it. Looking forward to the YouTube get together on Thursday night. Yeah, that should be fun. I actually, the last couple of years have been great. The one in Chicago to me is the best because the space is gigantic. It's in kind of like an atrium, but or a courtyard, kind of like I think it's more of a courtyard atmosphere. So let's see. Ryan says, I'm worried about the prices at the National. If it wasn't for the people, I'd dip out of the hobby because of these crazy prices. It's a tale as old of time, man. You know, it's the number one of the biggest complaints is prices, but you have to read the room. You have to kind of, feel comfortable negotiating, but doing it in a respectful way. It's tricky. It's a slippery slope, and I get it. If you're not comfortable doing it, then it can be tough. But I don't think it's fair to say that crazy prices everywhere because then why do people show up to begin with? What's going on Wednesday night? Night of the Natty. I don't know. I'm showing up in the morning. Gonna go to the show at night. And then I'll head back to where I'm staying. And I'm rooming with B-Roth, so I don't know. Maybe we'll find a place to hang out with a group of people. I don't know yet. Hey, what's up, Jeremy? Good to have you here, man. So, yeah, Jeremy's gonna be doing a sports card live as well with on Hobby Palooza. So we're looking forward to that. Good to see you. Love the new graphics, Sammy, for this show. Yeah. It was just a joke, but I appreciate it. So Al saying I've had success getting about 20% off paying in cash. Yeah, that's the key thing. Cash is king, as they say. That's the thing, man. All right, cool. I'll look out for your email, Brian. Yeah, we'll talk. Hopefully, if you want to email me your number and I'll text you, that'd be a lot easier. That way, there's no issues with emails getting lost. Yes, Iconic Gal. Hey guys, the items I'm look for. I've never had a problem with high prices at the National. Lots of deals if you aren't looking for grails. Yeah, I guess that's a good point, Scott. It really depends on what you're looking for. I think the tougher the card, the tougher it is to get a good deal on it. So I don't know. It's really, I think, yeah, Scott is dead on. It really depends on what you're looking for. Hey, Orlando, good to have you here, man. Good. Looking forward to catching up with you soon. Let's see. Okay, yeah, Uber Lyfts. That's pretty much what a lot of people are going to be doing at the National. Let's see. Eddie saying nobody wants to see my 1990 Fleer, Jose Uribe. If it's not the error card, I don't care. Can't wait for the National. Absolutely. It feels like a yes. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, Lenny, but yes, I agree. Yeah, man. Hopefully, Lenny, you can. I don't think you said you probably won't be able to make the National, but definitely next year Strongsville for sure, and definitely the East Coast National because I'm sure you're going to be setting up there. Let's see, January and downstairs. Okay. JP always had the list months ahead. Okay. I don't really follow the logistics. I'm not an auto guy, so I don't really pay much attention to it, but I totally get it if you are an auto guy. Last year's Fanatics ran yeah, that was crazy, man. They ran Fanatics the same weekend as the East Coast National, and that to me was pretty surprising. I don't know why they decided to do that. I think, and it must have done something. I mean, it must have hit them a little bit as far as financials go. I thought that was going to be it. I thought there wasn't as strong of a turnout for that, but I was surprised, man. They came back this year and they really marketed. They stepped up their marketing game so much. There was ads everywhere on Hulu, on radio, on TV. It was everywhere. But to me, Fanatics really turned more into entertainment than a card show. I don't look at it as a card show. It was a Comic-Con for sports. That's what it was. They're only 2 weeks after, but the big shows, if you're on the East Coast, are not going to Chicago. Yeah, but if you're talking about the East Coast National, it is a big show. Last National I found 1961 Peters Meets Twins cards. I remember that. Full unsealed panels for $300, comps for $150 each. That is a hell of a deal. And but yeah, you know what? That is a scarce piece, but it's such a niche market. It's so small, and you know, collectors like Scott who love the regional stuff, it makes perfect sense. But they're beautiful cards. 61 Peters Meets Twins cards are tough, but they're regional. But they're cool looking cards. I hear that there's going to be pizza. Where? You tell me where there's pizza, and I'm there. With more collectors joining the hobby, prices won't be any lower in the future. That could be, yeah, it's a good and bad thing, I suppose, right? I mean, tougher to get cards for good prices, I suppose, but good that they're maintaining value and going up. So if you have cards that you purchased years ago, I mean, that's great. That's fantastic news for for the future. If when the time comes when death comes knocking on your door, and you need to pass along the collection or sell it or what have you. Absolutely, it's always good with hobby prices won't be any lower in the future. Wednesday is usually pretty quiet because there are a lot of people not there yet. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people are coming on Tuesday. I've heard some people coming on Tuesday. Warren says he has Brian's IGO as a backup. I'm sure that's a typo, Warren. Or if it's not a typo, please let me know what you mean by that. Thanks, Sammy Scott. I really appreciate that. Even if I don't grab anything, I still want to meet. Yeah, absolutely. And you'll have the opportunity to do so. Definitely at the YouTube get together. That's going to be the best spot for it because the National is going to be impossible. Has anyone had issues getting the magazine Beckett Vintage Collector? I don't even look at Beckett anymore, but anybody can mention that if they have. Warren, there you go. I have Brian's info as a backup. Thank you. I'm sure Brian may have sent his number. I haven't checked yet, but I'll take a look afterwards. Vintage going up. Modern overpriced junk like Topps is going to tank. I guess time will tell. Does anyone buy, sell, trade at the YouTube meetup? I'm sure it happens, but I think with the trade night, I wonder if people are going to hold back because they want to wait and see what people are going to have at the trade night. That's going to be a big tell. Oh, you're not setting up the East Coast National this year, Lenny. Okay, well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk. What are you looking to pick up the National, Sammy? I don't know. I haven't come out with a list yet. I've been busy, man. I've been busy on weekends, working during the week, and I'm just too exhausted to do anything hobby-related, so I've been kind of taking a back seat on a lot of stuff, and I haven't gotten a chance to really think about what I want. Like I said, there's something on Heritage right now that I'm looking at that's ending in like 7 or 6 days. It's a Mathewson piece. There's another thing on eBay I'm looking at. I don't know if these cards are going to be, well, the one on Heritage is on Heritage, but the one on eBay, the seller, I don't know if if he or she, whoever, will be at the National. But I could say this much. I'm looking for Mathewson pieces. Mays, I'm looking for Mays pieces too, like the punch outs. Love to find a 66 or 67 Topps punch out with Willie Mays. They're so tough, though. I mean, the 60, I can't remember which one's tougher. I think the 66 ones are really tough, and the 67s are, I mean, they're both equally tough, but the 67s have a little bit more of a pop report attached to it. So those I would say are, ones on the list. I'm trying to think other Mays pieces that I don't have that I'd like to have. A lot of the tough pieces I've been able to find. So, but I'll come back to this at some point. I'll make a video for it like everybody else will closer to the show, and I'll announce like 5 cards that I'm looking for. We'll see. Anyone bidding an REA summer auction in 2 weeks? Last auction I got a Dwight Gooden signed jersey. That's pretty good, man. $25 for a signed jersey. Is that with buyer's premium and everything? Because if so, that's crazy good. Baseball Collector said the pizza is sponsored at the get-together. Oh, yes. If you're talking about the pizza, yes, YouTube, he did mention that. The pizza's going to be there. Today's high prices are tomorrow's bargains at the Nationals. Today's high prices are tomorrow's I suppose. I mean, they're going to be high prices. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be. It's going to, prices are going to be up, but it's just a matter of, you got to, you have to establish kind of a good relationship, good working relationship with dealers to get good deals on things. You know, the biggest thing you can do, and it's not going to help in your case, is to make complaints about high prices, because if you're going in thinking that there's going to be high prices everywhere, your guard is going to be up the entire time, and you're never going to get a good deal on anything. You got to go into it, you know, you got to go into it with a positive frame of mind and just, look through, be patient, and if you have a list, if it's a card that like a 59 Topps Maze card, there's going to be tons of dealers that have them, so you can just go around the room and try to find the one you want. Hey, Phil, good to have you here, man. Good to see you. If I can recommend that you meet with John Ramirez, he's been set up at every national since 1980 and is a legend. He also has, yeah, man, that's what, yeah, that was the conversation that, that I had with some of these other dealers that talked about John Ramirez and how I should meet up with him. And I think that will definitely, be on the agenda if I can find him. I don't know if he's setting up, he said he has been set up at every national. If he's set up under his own name or if he's set up under another business name, let me know, because I'll definitely make my way over and introduce myself. Dealers deserve a bit more, in my opinion. Give me more info on that. Clarify a little bit more, Neil, on that. I'm going to keep going through the chat, but clarify more on what you mean by that. Sorry, I've had beer. I'd be surprised, Warren, if you didn't have any beer with you. John Ramirez used to be the Venny guy. Yeah, man. I did my interview with the Venny guy. They take trips together to Venezuela. Many people leave Saturday evening. Will be interested to see how many make it to trade night. Yeah, I know. Like, I know Orlando said he was leaving Saturday, so I guess we'll see, man. It seems like hopes are high, and I think things will be good. I'll be leaving Saturday, so I won't make trade night. We'll probably be selling or trading before that. So yeah, probably Orlando is probably going to be a perfect candidate for somebody who is doing trades at the YouTube gathering. But if it's Chicago deep dish, that is not real pizza. You better be careful. Those are fighting words right there, man. So he said, clarifying, Dwight Gooden jersey with buyer's premium and shipping was $36. Great pickup. Vintage pizza prices going through the roof. Yes. All right, so I'm caught up with the chat. Good, man. I'll check back in a little bit to kind of discuss things further. But yeah, man. So for me, I arrive Wednesday morning, check in probably sometime in the afternoon. I'm gonna have to find Theo at some point throughout the day and figure out the logistics for the Four Collectors group. See how that's gonna work out. Yeah, kind of go from there, figure out how we're going to play it for the Four Collectors contribution for the National as far as videos and live streams and the whole 9 yards. So, yeah, man, I'm going to be arriving Wednesday, and I'm rooming with Brian from B-Roth 6. So we're going to be right across the street, which honestly to me is a critical strategy for me, because I'm going to make sure that I go back and forth between the show and the hotel periodically to refill on water and whatnot. Let's take breaks, go to Gibson's. That's definitely something I'm going to do during the show, not after the show, because it's going to be dead empty at Gibson's during the afternoon. And quite honestly, there's no reason to stay at the National, especially when we're going to be there for like 4 or 5 days. So, yeah, man, that's kind of what we're looking at for that week. Wednesday to Sunday morning is Wednesday morning I arrive, Sunday morning I leave. And that is the plan for that. But yeah, man, a lot to look forward to. I'm not really sure what else to say at this point. I kind of I was really kind of working off the chat, to be honest. So if you guys have any questions at all, I'm happy to answer. I've been, let's see, now this will be my 4th national. First one was Atlantic City in 2021. Then 2022 was Chicago. No, 2020. I can't remember when Atlantic City was. I want to say it was 2021, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was 2020 or 2022. You guys can correct me. I can't really access anything right now to start looking stuff up while doing this. Let's see. Greg is asking, ever hear of a dealer, Gar Miller, who worked with Jackie Robinson and is in Ripley's Believe It or Not for most cards in a house. Great dealer, bought several vintage from him. I've never heard of him. Does he set up at the National? I assume he does. Thank you, Eddie. So, my first one was 2022. I was Atlantic City 2022, Chicago 2023, Cleveland 2024, and then Chicago again. Will B. Roth be set up in the similar location to 2023? I was told that he's not setting up. He's going to be going. So, yeah, that's the plan. When did you start collecting? What got you started? I started collecting in 2021, March, or no, that's a lie, January. And I told this story a lot, but I don't mind sharing it briefly. This was the first card I ever picked up. Larry Bird, 81, 82 tops. I picked it up in a nostalgia shop. I was there with my wife and my mother-in-law, and it was like one of those like shops that sells 80s stuff, like records and toys and whatnot. And there was a box of vintage cards, and I picked that out for like 25 cents. So it was the thrill of the hunt is what got me. Sammy would love to hear your thoughts on the Venezuelan, specifically how important it is in terms of baseball connection across borders. I mean, we see it all the time now. I mean, the Venezuelan cards have really hit hot in the market over the past year or two. They're not. I don't think they get the same appreciation and weight as like pre-war stuff, like Cracker Jacks, or pre-war seems to be kind of like the bond, the glue that a lot of vintage collectors seem to to pine over. You see a lot of these unique pre-war cards that are being picked up all the time. But the Venezuelan cards, as far as how important it is in terms of baseball connection across borders, incredibly. We learn a lot through these cards. I mean, when they were first, like when Pat Quinn and John Ramirez probably brought these cards first back to the United States in the 80s and 90s, people were thinking like, what the hell are these cards? They don't look like the top. They look like the Topps cards, but they're a different shade. They're a different tone, a different color. The print is different. The backs are different. These are so cool. What they wanted to know more, but without the internet, they can only go by what John and Pat, what their experiences were when they were in Venezuela. And learning, and then over time, through these stories, through these contributions, and through these auctions, and so on and so forth, we learned about the photo albums. We learned about they were glued in there. We learned about how condition was so sensitive that you find a Venezuelan card, like my Willie Mays here. Where the front has some chipping, and you can see the back is completely torn up. But it's surprising though, is that the card is not damaged. It's really just the paper from the photo album is stuck there because of the glue. So there's a lot of rich history in terms of how important the Venezuelan cards are to collectors. I would still call it a niche thing, but it's growing. I think it is a growing sub part of the hobby, but I'm very passionate about it. I have written a lot about them in Cuban baseball history. Cards themselves act as a way to communicate across space and time. Absolutely, David. That is a great, great way to express it. And there's a lot of, in terms of Cuban baseball history, I mean, guys like Orlando, guys like Phil Gary, these are guys that I talk to about this. And knowing that you're involved in it as well kind of just continues that trend of significance of Cuban baseball history because it has a very rich history to it. Let's see. Gar Miller sells on his website and advertises on sports. Okay, I'll take a look at it. I'll look them up. I appreciate you sharing that. And share this sport of baseball, but the fact that Topps was involved in Venezuela is crucial. Yeah, they. My understanding is that they bought the press that they made the cards with, or the printing press, or whatever it is, to make these cards. Ross says I'm not going to this year, but to fully experience it the next year, how many days should I set up for the national? I would do like Wednesday to Saturday at minimum. So you get to experience the YouTube get-togethers and as well as the show. Orlando's has written an awesome history of Cuban baseball. David has written awesome. Gar Miller is another hobby pioneer that I definitely want to meet if he shows up. Anyone here from Bob Thing? I don't know who Bob Thing is. These are a lot of dealers I'm learning from you guys, so I appreciate that. I got that bird in those fun bags and JJ Newberry's way back when. Mine though won't grade an 8. Still, hey man, still an awesome card. Thank you, Orlando. Thank you. Seriously honored. Hard to overstate how important Cuban baseball history is in your videos. Yeah, Orlando and David, big contributors to this. If you want rooms across the street for next year, start working on your room when you get home from this year's national. Got mine this year like that. I did the same thing, Scott. Same approach. Ross, I typically go Wednesday to Saturday evening. Have done so for many years. Yeah, that's how I got to do it. Super passionate about them as well. Oh, and yeah, Lenny's talking about and the moisture from the moisture. Because they're taking care of those cards in Venezuela. I mean, it was impossible for them not to get damaged due to the climate. I remember buying complete Venny sets from Johnny Ramirez, still mounted to the album pages. Hey man, there's guys on Facebook. There's a guy, oh god, I think his name is Brian, who sells on these Venny pages. Who sells? He's like, I don't know. He must have a source because he has some great stuff that he sells. So Orlando says he'll be looking for Cuban cards and memorabilia at the National. I know there's a guy that I remember, Orlando. There was one guy who set up in that other room that had a lot of pre-war stuff, and I think he had a lot of Cuban cards. I was asking, would you even look to buy a Mathewson autograph? I guess I would, but it's so out of my. It's just they go for like at minimum like $8,000 to $9,000, and I just don't have that budget. And it just doesn't drive me. I'm not an autograph guy. They're cool. They're really cool, but I'm just not passionate about them. Orlando, your Cuban collection is superb. Can't get enough of you sharing and talking about it. Yeah, it's otherworldly is really a way to put it. Bob Things started collecting in 52 and knew just about every hobby pioneer in the 50s, I hear, including Jefferson Burdick. That's pretty monumental. Pretty cool. All right, guys, 44 minutes. I think we've gone through as far as we could. My hobby contributions this week, I don't know what they're going to be. I'll do a start of the week tomorrow because there have been some contributions this week or this past week that I'll throw in. And I'll definitely also get Carl's generous care package tomorrow. So I'll throw that in there as well. Yeah, man. A lot to look forward to. Hobby Palooza, Vintage Straight Night at the National. I hope to meet, for those I haven't met that are going to the National this year, hope to meet you guys there. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. So, again, Alex Bowman, 53, 8 o'clock, for collectors, 9 o'clock. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you soon. Take care.